Well, good morning, YouTube. As you guys can see, we weren't the only ones to park on the end last night. Unfortunately, he blocked our air. Now, it was actually fairly cool last night. It's a little warm and muggy this morning, but last night, sleeping, it was pretty nice. We had the windows open in the back, and sleeping pretty good. At some point, that truck pulled in and parked, and it kind of blocked our airflow, so I had to get up and turn the ceiling fan on about 5 a.m. But here it is now, 9 a.m. We're awake. Katie should hopefully be ready to go soon. I'm on my way to get coffee, like usual. Well, this morning's video is brought to you guys by Pilot Coffee. I'm not sponsored by Pilot Coffee, but it's definitely brought to you by Pilot Coffee. Best coffee on the interstate. Yeah, you guys know I like to have my coffee to get started in the morning, but I gotta say, quite surprised. This Pilot is actually very tiny inside. It's got a nice big parking lot, but inside is very small. In fact, they didn't even have any like the hot food, the griller items, none of that stuff was out. So coffee, that's it. One for me, one for Katie. Almost looks like there's a pink Porsche parked on top of Goliath. All right, guys, so finishing up my morning circle check and everything is looking good. I think it's about time to go ahead and fire Goliath up, let him get warmed up. Katie needs about 10 more minutes. She's gonna do her workout before we hit the road. I didn't check comments yet, but of course the video's only been live for a whole half an hour now or so. But yeah, the new thing that was different, if you guys didn't catch it, wheels on the trailer. Yeah, we put the new wheels and tire package on the trailer already. And we're not going to go into a lot of detail on it just yet, because that's a whole nother video that I'm going to make for them. But basically, just to give you guys a sneak peek, I found a company called Bore Wheels. They make a custom wheel that is a 19.5-inch wheel that uses a true 19.5-inch commercial trailer tire, like you'd use on a lowboy type step deck. And obviously they're going to carry a much higher load rating than the tires I had on here, and they should be more resistant to blowouts. And I'll be honest, I love the way that they look. So now that we've gone a couple hundred miles, I'm just checking for any like signs of scuffing or wear marks or anything, because they are a little bit larger in diameter, and I did have a few clearance issues and had to make some adjustments. Again, that'll be in a different video. But yeah, guys, check them out, Bore Wheels. I'll put a link in the description. I think this could be the answer to our trailer tire blowout problem. Now also, there were some really nice, pretty chrome center caps that came with it, but maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later at a fuel stop or something. All right, guys, we are on the road. I think it's what, close to 10 o'clock now, baby?
10:09.
10:09. So yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Central Time, a little bit later than we had originally planned on. However, we're not really in a hurry. We still haven't decided which way we want to go. And basically, we've got two options. We can either take I-70 all the way across Missouri from St. Louis to Kansas City, then get on to 29 and head north up into Iowa and South Dakota. But the last couple of years, Katie and I have really liked stopping by the Iowa 80 truck stop. I mean, we've been there, done that, so it's not like we have to, but we kind of enjoy it. The restaurant there is actually pretty tasty, and there's always like cool stuff to see. So if we go that way, then we will get off of 64 before getting to St. Louis and head north up into Illinois, go through Springfield, Peoria, and then kind of cut over to Walcott, Iowa. We've got a couple hours to make our decision which way we want to go. Technically, running 70 across Missouri will be the faster route, but we're not necessarily in a hurry. So it really just comes down to whether or not we want to go to Iowa 80 or just get out west. But it also looks like we might have some storms coming our way. So maybe staying on the interstate will be better, maybe not, more traffic. You know, the nice thing is if we do Iowa 80, then afterwards, the whole trip across Iowa is like no traffic whatsoever. It's so nice running like 20 across or whatever, where 70 is usually pretty hectic. But it's also the 4th of July now. It may not be as hectic. We'll just have to see. Hi guys, so we stopped here at exit 16 in Kentucky. We're basically just kind of on the eastern side of Paducah. Looks like the fuel prices here were the best we're going to see for quite some time. It's about $3.40, it's like $3.39.9. Now truth is, I should have stopped last night before leaving Tennessee. There was a QT just before the Tennessee Kentucky border. It was only $3.19, but it was literally like 6 miles before we were planning on stopping anyways. I just didn't want to stop twice, but now I kind of regret that. Should have stopped then, got the cheaper fuel. But it drastically goes up once we hit Illinois. We're looking at like 380s, 390s once we get over there. So saving 40 or 50 cents a gallon definitely makes a pretty big difference. And while I'm fueling up, Katie is cleaning the windows with the Amsoil glass cleaner. Good stuff. Look at that, let me zoom in on that can. Stuff works awesome, guys, it really does. Cab over. Hauling a heavy haul. That's pretty cool. Don't see that every day. Hi guys, so the windshield is all cleaned up. The fuel tanks are topped off, and I topped them off all the way so that hopefully that will get us all the way to Mitchell, South Dakota. I don't know that it will, but we're gonna try. Hi guys, so Katie and I discussed it on the way here, and we decided we're not gonna go to Iowa 80. We are going to go ahead and run straight across, and we're going to try to land in Council Bluffs, Iowa tonight. Sapp Brothers. There's a Sapp Brothers there in Council Bluffs. You guys might remember we stopped there on the way home from Sturgis last year when I was in the struggle bus, and that's where we met Nick from Vlogs 18, and we had a really good time there, got some breakfast together. So realistically, this fuel should get us across Missouri. Well, there's a little bit through Illinois. We're not in Illinois for very long. We'll cross the state line here about 16 miles. We're only in Illinois for like 80 something miles, I think. No, it's more than that. It's more than that, because on 24 we've got about 32 miles, and then we hit 57. I think we got to travel like 60 miles on 57, and then we hit 64, and I think we've got like 60 or 80 miles there. Then we'll run through St. Louis all the way over to Kansas City, get on 29 and head north. That's the plan. If we can get there tonight, and then tomorrow morning we can stop in, well, tomorrow morning. Anyway, that's where we're going for right now. I'm talking too much. Alright guys, it's just about 5 o'clock. We stopped at the Pilot here at exit 101 on Interstate 70. So we're still about almost 100 miles east of Kansas City. So basically just thought it'd be a good time to stop, stretch my legs, gonna get some more coffee, use the restroom real quick. It's kind of getting just tired of just kind of like sitting in the truck, so I needed to move around a little bit. Guys, and I gotta tell you, it is hot in Missouri. You know, like coming through Tennessee last night, everything felt pretty good. Even coming through Kentucky and Illinois this morning, everything was nice. The second we crossed the Mississippi River into St. Louis, it's like somebody flipped the switch and it was hot. By the time we got through St. Louis, Katie actually looked up the weather and it said it was like 96 degrees, but it felt like 101 or something like that. The only saving grace is that the humidity was down about 40%, so it's not that sticky, nasty hot, it's just hot. But I got both of the air conditioning windows open and we're getting as much air in there as we can. I guess so, in and out, pretty much as quick as we can. No, I didn't park, I just pulled through the fuel island. I wasn't getting fuel. I figured to go inside, pee, grab a couple coffees, I wouldn't be here any longer than somebody who was getting fuel anyways. And this whole time, nobody has even pulled up behind us. It's pretty slow here today. There's a bunch of open fuel islands, so I wasn't inconveniencing anybody. I think Katie's just about done, so we're gonna get back on the road. Got a few more hours to go until we get to where we wanna go. So we're just getting ready to pull out as well, and we've had an odor problem in here. And we had a really nasty rainstorm come through, and sometimes my window seals here will leak a little bit. I just assumed that the carpet got a little bit wet because it smelled like wet carpet. Well, a couple times today, Katie went back to the fridge to grab us snacks or drinks while we're driving. Every time she opened the fridge, it smelled it, so we realized that there's something rotting in there. Couldn't figure it out. I mean, we just loaded the fridge last night before we left. So she's checking everything and can't find it. And finally, we look in the freezer, and there's a bag of broccoli that was oozing stuff out of it. Frozen broccoli that had been refrozen because we turned the fridge back on yesterday. But apparently it got left in there when we came home from Laconia. So it sat in Goliath for more than a week, unrefrigerated, unfrozen. That's what the smell was. So we finally just got that all cleaned up and thrown away. And so now we're not taking that smell any further with us. But it was nasty. Well, guys, we made it to the Sapp Brothers here in Council Bluffs. You see by the big water tower up there. Only a couple parking spots here. Very, very few. So there's the 3 here. I ended up taking the middle one. With it being raining in this dark corner, I couldn't hardly see the lines. I actually had to have Katie come out and help guide me on the phone. And unfortunately, it smells like ass over there. I think there's like a sewage leak or something, but it's the only place I can park here. So that kind of sucks. Well, guys, if you saw there, we crossed the Iowa border just as the sun was pretty much setting. Again, it looked way lighter on camera than it did in real life. And then right after that is when we kind of drove into this storm. Now, like the first 15 or 20 miles, it was just a light rain with the threat of lightning all over the place. You may have already seen that. I don't know how much footage Katie got. I probably got to sort through a lot of it, but it was absolutely beautiful light show, especially with the occasional firework going off. Like there's some going off over here somewhere. I don't know if I can catch them on there or not. Every time I try to catch them, they don't happen anymore, but I can hear fireworks going off everywhere because it's 4th of July. But anyway, we're here, we're parked, and I think this is where we're going to call it tonight. The reason we chose here is because Katie's got a cousin that lives in the area, her cousin Lee. So we decided here, that way we can meet with him for breakfast before he goes to work in the morning. She hasn't seen him in a couple of years, so that'll be kind of nice. Earlier, I mentioned something about the center caps on the wheels, and now it is way too dark to even get into that. So you guys have to wait till tomorrow's video. Maybe we'll cover that in the morning in tomorrow's video. I didn't think we would get here this late. I thought we'd get here before dark, but or it'd be parked before dark. We didn't even realize we were going to come this far. Remember at the beginning of the video, we thought we might have been going to Iowa 80, which is like hundreds of miles from here. We've gone way past that, so definitely later than we'd originally anticipated. But it's really not that late. It's only about 9:30 at night, so we still made pretty good time. Just a little less than 12 hours, 600 and something, maybe 700 miles. I don't even know. I'll have to look. Well, it looks like somebody else is trying to get into the other couple of spaces here, so glad I got parked when I did. These may not be available for too much longer. Anyway, guys, I'm going to kind of help this driver back in if he needs any help, but I think we're going to end this video here. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next time I see you, keep those engines running.